All right, guys, what's up, everybody? We are live right now. I am in a very public space, so if the echo is loud, I'm in a very big open space. If the Wi-Fi connection is bad, I'm sorry about that. We are doing the best we can. It's looking like it's going to be a little choppy today with the connection, but bear with me. We're going to be in and out quickly on tonight's, daily. I don't even have a name for this. I'm just going live every day for the month of December. We're on day 23. And I got a topic for tonight. Before we jump into that topic, I want to say how interesting it is that these challenges, they always start off so fun, so exciting. There's a lot of enthusiasm in the beginning. And then as the days come on, like it just starts getting inconvenient. And then you get to that like natural low point of like, look, I kind of don't want to do this today. And you still have to get yourself to show up. And everything I've ever started, business, sports, relationships, everything, there's always at some point the I don't really want to follow through and do this. That emotion comes up, that thought comes up, that desire to just skip a day. And this is no different. And I'm grateful for the ability to push through. I'm grateful to be able to make those decisions, to push through and to continuously show up each day. So appreciate you guys for being here. Appreciate you letting me share that. If you're watching on Instagram, be sure to comment the word YouTube and come on over to the YouTube channel. Help out the algorithm. And let me just get that over here. Comment YouTube. Cool. So that is on my Instagram. Let's go ahead and get into tonight's topic. So we're coming into the new year. Today's December 23rd. We have the new year coming in just a week. We're going to be in January 1st of 2025. And a lot of people are going to begin the new year, new me resolutions. And I'm looking forward to it, guys. Like straight up, if you want to reinvent yourself, no better time than the start of a new year. There's something about having a first at the calendar that is just a great place to begin. However, I'm worried. I am genuinely concerned that many people are not going to follow through on their New Year's resolutions because in 2024, many people didn't follow through. 2023, many people didn't follow through. 2022, 2021. And if you're one of those people, it's okay. Like I've been there. I've been a person who hadn't followed through on a resolution. And let's talk about why that happens so that we can avoid that same trap. Also, what's up, Anthony? Good to see you, bro. Had a great flight. Literally have been flying all day since early morning. Had a connection, had a layover in Charlotte. Beautiful airport. One of my favorite airports, actually. Charlotte Airport is one of the most beautiful airports, I think, personally. And so with the New Year's resolution, the new year, new me, awesome. Let's make it actually happen this year. And when I talk about making it happen, I want to remind you of a phrase you've heard me say. In fact, I'm going to have you guys write it in the chat if you're paying attention. Addition by subtraction. Addition by subtraction. You want to add more to your life. You want to become more. You want to earn more money. You want to get in better shape. You want to have better relationships. You want to make your life greater than what it is. So you essentially want to add on to your life. You're going to do it by actually subtracting. So I love it. Chris Dickerson, first one in the chat to have addition by subtraction. Shout out to Chris. He's an action taker. When I say addition by subtraction, I need you to start to comprehend this idea that your life is waiting for you to actually release and let go, not gather and gain. You want to gather and gain. I had this conversation last night with a friend of mine. She's twice my age. I'm 31. She's 62 years old. And we sat down at the dinner table for about 3 hours chatting last night. And one of the things we spoke about is how life, the older I've been getting, the more of these lessons I've been learning, the more I dive into these old spiritual texts and occult studies and scripture and books on personal development and just personal life experience and going to masterminds and talking to people, the more I realize life is seemingly paradoxical. As far as I can tell, that's my opinion so far, that it's almost the obvious answer is typically never the right answer. You want to gain more in life, and you think, let me go do more. And I start to realize, no, if I want to gain more, I actually need to do less. I want to make more money. Well, let me save more. No, it's actually, I need to give more money away. You want to benefit yourself. Let me do more things and put me first. Actually, no, I want to benefit myself. I need to put you first. And so life seems to be very paradoxical in this way. And one of those paradoxes is this idea of addition by subtraction. Right now, the thing that I would say is holding most people back is the fact that they allow so many options in their life. They allow so many avenues of opportunity to pull their attention. You allow so many voices to speak into your life. You allow so many influences. And as a result, we start to run into analysis paralysis where you're like, I quite frankly don't know what to do. I have more intellectual information than I've ever had before, and I'm getting less results. I'm feeling more stressed out, and I just feel stuck. Why do I feel stuck? I know I want to do better. It's in my heart. I really do want to do better, but why am I not following through? It's because you've opened up too many, I call them tabs. You have too many tabs open in your life. I jokingly said this to my friend last night that I get stressed out when I look at a computer and they've got 27, 37 tabs open. And if you're one of those people, right, like Chris, if you're sitting next to Nicole, I'm giving Nicole like the evil stare because I know she said she's one of those people. If you're one of those people that you have 20,000 tabs open on your computer screen, I promise you, you're probably also the person that has that many tabs open in your life. Between projects, between things that you said yes to, between relationships that you're entertaining, between influences that you're listening to. You've got so many things that have been started but not finished that it's now become a part of your identity to start and not see things through to the end. And when you do try to commit and see things through to the end, you never want to actually let down and release some of the other things you've been holding. And as a result, you don't have the capacity to even finish, even though it is now your will and your desire to finish. You don't have the actual bandwidth, the capacity to do so, right? You've already spent your money on all these other things. You spent your currency. You don't have enough to buy the thing you really want. And so what we've got to do is we've got to get you your currency back. We've got to get you your attention back. We've got to get you your horsepower for life, your bandwidth, your actual bandwidth. We need to increase it by retrieving it from all the open tabs you have in your life. And the way we do this is I actually broke it down and I kind of came up with these 3 R's. So you've never heard this before because I just made it up. Like I literally just made it up 20 minutes ago while I was sitting here thinking about what we're going to talk about today. So make sure you pull out your notepad and pen and paper because this is going to be something that you haven't heard it anywhere else. And the first thing is that it's going to be the 3 R's, right? The first thing is we've got to remove. We've got to remove distractions. We got to remove influences. And when I talk about distractions and influences, one of the first places I tell people to go to is pick up your phone and go to your social media apps. Go to your Instagrams, your TikToks, your LinkedIn, wherever it is you're hanging out the most online. I want you to look at how many people are you currently following? How many people have access to your newsfeed? Like how many people did you allow to pop up on your newsfeed when you open your phone? Cut that number down, whatever number you're at, because odds are you're probably over 400, you're probably over 500. Some of you are in the thousands. You're letting thousands of people just say whatever they want. You're letting those voices come in. Cut that down and chop it down to, I'm going to say, aim for 200 or less, 200 voices or less, 200 influences or less. Because now that I'm going to ask you to remove things, removing people is going to make you have to question, well, who deserves to stay right now? And it's not that you're removing them entirely from your life. It's you're removing them as a influence at this moment. You're reclaiming your attention. You're bringing your focus and your energy back to you so that you can work on whatever it is that you deem important. Because again, 2025 is going to be here and you may have all the intention in the world to be better than you are. But if you don't have your attention, it's like me having the intention to go and buy a yacht. If I don't have the money, I can't buy the yacht. I have to actually go and get the money first so I can go buy the yacht. In order to build your dream life, you need to get the currency, which is your awareness, your consciousness, it's your attention. We got to get that back to you. So we're going to chop down on social media. Right? Chop down. And it's not chop down on your use of social media. Go ahead and use social media. It's a part of our society, right? I'm not going to tell you to cut it off entirely, but cut down and limit what you're actually allowing it to show you. Make sure the people that you're seeing are the ones that you want to learn from. Those are the voices that you want to listen to. From there, also close your tabs as far as the projects you have open in your life. What are some things that you've already committed yourself to from a month ago, 3 months ago, a year ago? Like you told people, yes, you were going to do this. I need you to go and either fulfill the task or you need to let them off the hook and tell them, listen, I screwed up. I said, yes, I can't. Hey, look, I know I said I was going to be at your wedding. I can't. Look, I know I said we were going to go on that snowboard trip. I can't. Look, I know I said I was going to help you build the furniture this weekend. I can't. If you can, go do it and close that tab. But if you can't, be okay breaking it off sooner rather than later. I just made a Instagram video the other day talking about you've got to be you never sit down and think to yourself, I'm so grateful I waited to end that relationship, or I'm so grateful I wait. Like it's the best time to release yourself from these things is now, because now is the only time you have. And so I want you to analyze what are some of the things that have been plaguing your mind. Is it that you still haven't done your taxes for 2023? Is it that you have been needing to send the person an email? They've been waiting on this email for the last week and you still haven't done it. Like figure out what all those little things are and go close them. What's a fascinating thing, I use the analogy of computer tabs a lot because if any of you are on the internet with your laptop or your desktop, I want you to go up to your browser where you have the, what's it called? What do you call it? Like the tabs on your browser. And you should be using the right browser, which is Google Chrome. If you're using anything besides Google Chrome, you're a weirdo. I don't get why people, like straight up, like I don't know who the weirdos are that use Safari. And I really don't know who the weirdos are that use Internet Explorer. Like if you use the Internet Explorer, in my opinion, you are a caveman. You are a Neanderthal. I'm just being real. I just do not get it. With all the functionality of Google Chrome and the extensions, like for you to use Internet Explorer, shout out to Internet Explorer though. Like they keep asking you out. Like they keep begging to be the first on the, I guess if you buy a PC. But anyhow, I'm messing around with you. If you go and you hover your mouse over one of those tabs, what's interesting is it will show you how much memory usage each tab is actually sucking from your computer. And so what's a fascinating thing is people are like, man, my computer's running slow. I don't know what's going on with it. I think I need to get a new laptop. And I'll be like, well, do me a favor, open up your browser. They got 47 tabs open. And they're like, yeah, but I'm only looking at one tab. I'm like, hover your mouse over and it actually shows you how much data is being pulled just to maintain that tab in the background. It's not even in the front. It's in the background. It's a tab and it's just drawing up memory. And guess what, guys? Memory costs energy. So your battery's getting drained. Your CPU's getting worked. Your entire system is having to work to hold this thing open for you in the background. Your body, your brain, it's the same way. So when you're thinking to yourself, well, no, it's just a side project. No, it's an open tab in your mind. It is drawing on the battery. It's like my car, guys. I got this car. My car is a 2004 BMW 3 Series. I love this car, but it's an older car. It's 20 years old. It's about to be 21 years old. And the car, as much as I love it, there's this drain somewhere. I don't know where it is. No mechanics have ever been able to find it, but there's a drain somewhere that actually pulls on the battery. So even when the car is turned off and the car is at rest, there's still something open and on in my car that drains the battery. So if I don't drive my car for 3 or 4 days at a time, I come back to a dead battery. It's annoying. So what's happening is the same thing's going on with you when you're like, man, I don't have the energy to get up and to go do all the things. Like I want to be working out in the morning and I want to be coming and creating content and I want to be following up with these relationships. But like by the time I get there, I'm so dead. I don't know why I'm out of energy. I do. You have too many tabs open in your life. Cut the tabs. Close out the projects. Either finish them or abandon them. And I know you guys are thinking like, but why would I abandon them, right? I'm not a quitter. Guys, there are some times where quitting things is a good thing, right? Like someone who quits smoking cigarettes, that's a good thing. Quit the things in your life that are quit the distractions. You want to quit the distraction, okay? So no, it's not after Anthony. Everything in my car everything's all original. So first R is to remove the open tabs in your life, remove the influences off of your social media, remove the negativity, like just remove it. Don't try to avoid it, eliminate it. Because it costs energy to avoid. It costs energy to minimize that tab and leave it open in the background. It costs energy. And practice it. Here. Can you tell I get a little passionate about this? The interesting thing about this, if you're one of these people right now, I'm going to put you on the spot. Look at your computer browser if you're on your laptop. Look at your cell phone if you're on your cell phone. And do the thing where it opens up either if you're on your computer, all your tabs, and you see all your tabs, or the thing where you have all the other apps open on your cell phone. And close all of them except for this one video that you're on right now. How many of you, at the thought of closing all the tabs, just got a sense of like anxiety of like, ooh, but what if I need this? Will I be able to find this again? What if I... So relax. The fact that the idea of closing some tabs and closing some apps just gave you an emotional reaction, you just reacted emotionally, that's a sign that these things have control over you more than you want it. If something can control your emotions, it can control you. The only person that should be in control of your emotions is you. You should never be reacting emotionally to any external circumstance, to anything material in this world. If something can be taken away from you and cause you to respond emotionally, it has control over you. Pay attention to that. So take control back, close out the tabs, disconnect, and so we're going to remove in order that we can move into the second R. Second R is refocus. So we're removing, and now we're going to refocus. Refocus means we have to sit down and decide, what am I looking at? What am I moving towards? What is my North Star? I want to understand what the North Star is, because when I have that North Star, it's going to allow me to figure out what am I going to start to pick back up. I'm okay dropping everything. However, what am I going to begin to pick back up? It needs to be based against something. Importance is a relevant term. When someone says to you, what's the most important thing that you need to work on today? It's relevant to what? The goal that you're trying to accomplish. When somebody says, what's the best way to do something? It's relevant to what? Where are you trying to go? So when we start to refocus, focus is relative to what you're wanting to accomplish. The fact is, you're always focused. You're always focused on something. It's just, are you focused on your desired reality? Are you even clear on what your desired reality is? Are you clear on what Donovan, he says to me, he says, what's your desired end state? Think about your desired end state. Get crystal clear. And we're not going to dive too deeply into it tonight. I'm going to end up, like, guys, when I thought about it, like, am I going to continue to do these every day? Right now, I'm leaning more towards, I'm probably not going to do everyday lives in January, because what I've been wanting to do, and I don't really get the time to do it at this moment because I'm going live every day, is I want time to actually, it's almost like construct a paper. I construct full from start to finish, fully full. I want to be able to think my ideas all the way out and take you guys on a journey from start to finish. All right, when I'm doing these lives, these are fun. I feel way more comfortable in front of the camera again. I feel way more confident in knowing that I can stay consistent. I love that. It's cool connecting with you guys, seeing Anthony show up, Karen show up, Chris show up. Like, it's been ridiculously awesome seeing the folks on Instagram, which, by the way, if you're on Instagram, comment the word YouTube. I'm going to send you a link to the YouTube channel right now. I want you over on YouTube. Help your boy out. We're trying to grow the watch hours on YouTube. So if you're getting value from it on Instagram, I promise you, you're going to get even more value on YouTube, and you'll be helping the brother out, because we're trying to grow the YouTube channel in 2025. We're not trying, we're growing the YouTube channel in 2025. And so let's bring it back. January, anticipate more like weekly videos. Let's talk about why we have to reframe. When we reframe, we are setting our North Star. That North Star, if we know what it is clearly, it will allow all of our actions, all of our interactions, all of our thoughts, all of our doings to be leading towards the same endpoint. Things will be able to compound. We'll be able to get compound returns on our behaviors, on our thoughts. But you have to reframe. right? Because after we remove all the distractions, we're going to have energy, we're going to have bandwidth. But the problem is, if you don't know what to do with that energy, you're going to end up picking things back up that were very similar to what you previously held on to. This is why when people, for example, want to quit drinking or quit smoking, like I had friends who wanted to quit smoking weed, and they would sit down, they would stop, but they didn't decide what they were going to do with that new time. So they quit smoking weed, but they used to spend 4 hours doing this a day. So now with that 4 hours, they were like, I don't know what to do. And they end up picking up another similar habit. They start vaping, they start doing like all this other nonsense. So you want to refocus, figure out where your attention is going to go now that you have more of it. So you're going to remove distractions, you're going to reframe your or refocus, and then you're going to restrict. Restrict means now that you refocus and you choose your North Star, you actually need to prevent things that come in that are not in alignment with the North Star. It's easy to start picking up junk again. Notice if you know people who used to, or not even used to, people who have a lot of junk, they hoard. What happens is if you show up and you clean out their house, and growing up, I had two of my best friends, love them to death. They're like brothers to me, but they just collected junk. Like they just collected like stuff. I'm like, why do you just collect stuff? Like throw it out. And so one day I used to spend a lot of time at their house growing up. And so I was like, you know what? This is basically my second house. I'm going to do you a favor because I'm doing it for myself at this point. I'm going to clean up your entire house. I mean, like I went through their entire upstairs. I invited our friends over. We did a full clean out day. I was like, guys, we're all hanging out here. This is our kick it spot. We need to clean it. And I mean, we hadn't seen that place that clean since ever. I mean, that place probably wasn't that clean since they bought the house. And so everything's clean. You can actually see the floor again. We wiped everything down, got all the bowls out, like got everything from under the bed, cleaned out the closet, cleaned out the crawl space, all of it. And what was so fascinating is I changed what was happening externally, but I didn't change who they were internally. Within 2 days, maybe 3 days, would you believe that the house was in the same condition again? It was back to normal. Absolutely back to normal, because we never restricted what was allowed to come back in. So we didn't change who they were internally. We didn't put any restrictions. And so we went back to the same behavior. And so effectively what's happening for New Year's is a lot of people are going to set big, hairy, audacious goals for themselves, but they're not going to change their identity. They're not going to change their inner state. And as a result of them not changing the inner state, it's the same rule breaker trying to follow a new law. Why would they follow the law? They've already broken the rules in the past, right? If you give new rules to a rule breaker, it doesn't matter what rules you put in place. You need to change the identity of the rule breaker. You got to make them a person who follows the rules. And so it's huge. Now, I want to share with you guys something, and this is something that I've been learning, and this is a total side note before we get out of here tonight. There's a new definition of the word manifestation that I've been coming across. I consider myself a personal development coach, a high performance coach, and something I work on with people is effectively I help them to manifest. And it's not even to manifest. Let me rephrase that, because the reality is everyone's already manifesting. Like you're manifesting right now. Anyone that tells you you're not, it's BS. You manifest every moment of your life. The thing is, what you're probably saying is, I want to manifest, I'm living in a life that's not the life I want. I don't drive the car I want to drive. I'm not living in my desired reality right now. This is not my desired end state. Okay, cool. I get that. So you're already manifesting, but what you're saying to me is, yo, Marlon, I'm manifesting results that I don't like. I'm manifesting things that I don't vibe with. And so let's define the word manifestation, because I love this definition. I learned this from let's call him like another manifestation coach. And he said manifestation is shifting internally to a degree where you are no longer emotionally dependent on seeing your reality change. Let's break that down, because it's cool to hear words, but if you don't understand what they mean, it's not worth anything. So let's break down manifestation, a shifting internally to a degree where you no longer emotionally, keyword emotionally, you are no longer emotionally dependent on seeing your reality change. In other words, Marlon's breakdown of that is it is getting to a point internally where you're cool if it happens, you're cool if it doesn't happen. When you get to the place where you are cool if something happens and you're also cool, just as equally cool if it doesn't happen, you are now going to be able to manifest. And I had to sit down and think about this, and I'm like, damn, this is so freaking true. At least I saw it to be stinking true in sales. When I got to the point where I wanted, look, getting into sales, what's everybody trying to do? They want to get a commission. You don't get into sales because you just love this so much or you love that. You get into sales because you are trying to figure out how to make money. That's the reality. That's why a person does sales. Cool. Now, they may also want to see the benefit and this and that, but one of those major aspects, especially in the beginning, is a person is trying to figure out how to make money, typically because they are in a position where they need money. Cool. Now, when you're in that place and you need the sale to happen, you need the commission, you start to actually create resistance to the reality of you getting the sale. You actually start putting up blocks. And now when you go and you talk to a person, you hear me say it all the time, that person has commission breath. Well, with your manifestation, you have commission breath on your manifestation if you're in that place of like, I need this to happen. I need this to happen. Think about that. Because there's this emotional, you're clingy emotionally, right? And when you're clinging emotionally, you're operating from this scarcity of like, I'm afraid to lose it. And that's what you're going to get. You're going to get this reality where you don't have it because you're giving the emotion. You are emotionally creating a reality where you're so scared to lose it that you end up losing it, that you don't have it and you don't have it, that you're always chasing it and you're always pursuing it. And you're manifesting that reality where you're pursuing because you're not good if you don't have it. And so manifesting that, like, keep going with me here. In sales, when we started to realize, if I start to get to the point where I'm okay walking away from a deal, do I want the deal? Sure. But if the deal doesn't happen, I'm also just as fine. What started to happen was more deals started to close. I was still losing deals. People were telling me no, but I stopped being bothered emotionally about it. It stopped changing. I no longer identified with it happening or it not happening. And as a result, I started to identify with, well, this is who I am, right? Like I got locked in with my identity. And as I got locked in with, well, I'm confident, I'm a real estate investor, I'm this, I'm that. And I really started to adopt that identity and no longer allowed external circumstance to dictate internally how I saw myself, how I felt about me, to change my emotional state internally. What started happening? Externally in the world, I started getting a reality that matched the internal vibration, the internal temperature. Therefore, deals started closing. It was the craziest thing. It's like deals started coming out of seemingly nowhere. I was working on the same data. I had the same scripts, but I had changed. So my external world didn't change, but I changed. And then because I changed, my external world did change. So when we start talking about manifestation, understand manifestation isn't about changing your external reality. It's shifting internally to a degree where you are no longer emotionally dependent on seeing your reality change. When you start to be good with, I'm good if it happens, I'm good if it doesn't, that's where you'll start to see your reality shift as a result. This is, and again, paradoxical, right? Like it's so crazy how life can be so paradoxical sometimes. And sometimes all the freaking time. And it's one of those things that I know I struggled with in the past, because it's like when you start learning the secret to living is giving, right? But you have to give without the expectation of getting anything in return. But if you give without the expectation of getting anything in return, you understand that you are going to receive in return. It's like, how do I do that? And is it possible to do that? And the answer is yes. It is absolutely possible to give without expectation of receiving anything, and then to watch your life increase. The same way it is to manifest a reality, to get to that place where you are emotionally good, regardless of seeing your reality change or not. And as a result, your reality will change to what you want. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. So Amar, I love this too. I geek out on this stuff. And you say intentionally shift to a degree where you are no longer emotionally dependent on seeing your reality change. Dude, I freaking love that you wrote that down. I love that you got that. So, guys, I am in Florida. I'm gonna go hang out. I'm gonna go grab dinner and go hang out with my mom and my niece and my family. But I'm glad we got through day 23. We'll be back on day 24. Ooh, I'm all about talking about the alpha waves tomorrow. Yo, Amar, that's a good idea. We'll talk about alpha waves. We'll talk about relaxation. We'll talk about the state that you need to get in to actually effectively communicate with your subconscious mind, because you hear it all the time. In fact, I teach you guys about interacting with the subconscious mind. I work tomorrow, like we'll talk about that, because I work with 6 and 7 figure entrepreneurs, and I help them to program their subconscious mind. I show them how to do it, because they're already doing it. I just show them how to do it intentionally so that they can get there sooner. They can stop running into those same stupid roadblocks and be stuck at whatever limits they're stuck at. So yeah, tomorrow, yo, Amar, shout out to you, man. That's so freaking go. All right. And then also, Chris, what book are you reading, man? I'm curious. Chris says, let's go, Amar. That's perfect with the book I'm reading. So I'm curious. As far as time, Anthony, tomorrow we got the Think Big podcast happening at 7 o'clock my time, because I'm on the East Coast. So I'm thinking we'll go earlier in the day. I'll probably come on live maybe around 3 o'clock Eastern. So I'm thinking around 3 o'clock tomorrow Eastern, we'll do the live. So be on the lookout. I'll put it inside the school. I'll put it on the calendar inside school, and I'll also put it on my Instagram tomorrow. Dude, love that. Breaking the Habit of Being You by Joe Dispenza. So great. And just started Levels of Energy by Frederick Dawson. I freaking love these books. Yo, we're going to have to start up a book club or something. So, guys, I will be back tomorrow. Y'all enjoy the rest of the evening. And, I mean, I'm going to see you for Christmas. So I'm not even going to say happy holidays if I don't see you. I'll say happy holidays to you tomorrow on Christmas Eve, and I'll say happy holidays again on Christmas. Guys.